show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome, sports fans. Welcome back to another very special episode. I'm your host, Jomar,
I'm Rush.
and this is This or That Sports TV, the place you guys interesting and riveting sports topics, discussions, and debates on the internet.
Yes, people. But before we get into today's video, don't forget to like this one. Leave a comment and subscribe to This or That Sports TV. Please do one more thing for us, though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us 6 subscribers because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers that get us by the end of the day, people?
One whole heap, one whole heap. All right, bro. So we're here to do our review of the first Gold Cup game, 2020 Gold Cup season opener, bro. First of all, how you feeling? I just want to know the first reaction right after the game. I guess you have some time to think about it now. How you feeling about the game overall? Before we even break it down and say what good, what bad. How you feeling about it?
I don't know, annoyed.
Hmm.
Had we played out to a 0-0 draw, I probably wouldn't have been annoyed. But
Mhm.
because of the manner in which we lost 2 points, and I felt annoyed.
Mm.
That was my immediate reaction. I'm still slightly annoyed.
I'm actually optimistic. Got it after the game, but I'm optimistic. So let's talk about how we started the game, how our games lined up, and then we'll go from there. We'll perform in the game, blah blah blah. So maybe bring up on the screen the starting lineup, and then we can go from there. Right? So our games started with Andre Blake in goal, which we expected. Amari Bella at left back, Adrian Mariappa at left centre back. Interestingly, I don't know if you realize, Adrian Mariappa was playing left centre back. Yeah, man. Remember, Damian Lowe up on the right side with Lemby Kisa, knock it to him, man. Damian Lowe as right centre back.
Damian Lowe was so comprehensive. It was all over the place.
It was all over the place, but I think he started at right centre back.
Yeah.
Dexter Lemby Kisa, our right back. The midfield four, I think it was a four, was Demar Gray, Lottie Bodier, Kevin Lambert, and Bobby Reed. Kevin Lambert getting the start. Liam Bailey, I feel like had a free role as a supporting striker, but a free role all over the place, dropping deep sometimes, coming for the ball. Favoured the right side, but a free role nevertheless, and Mikel Antonio was leading the line for us. The American lineup is on the screen, people, so hopefully you can see that. We're not really go through that. We're on the Jamaican side of things. Did you get what you expected from this Jamaican team? Was this the lineup that you expected? And were you satisfied with the lineup that you saw?
It was the lineup that I expected to see. And all things considered,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he managed to get Antonio, Gray, Bobby Reed, and Leon Bailey into the starting lineup,
Yep.
managing to utilize them to their strengths.
Yep.
You know, I'm satisfied with the lineup that he put out there.
Yeah, I feel like if you have these four players, get them on the pitch. That's just how I feel about it. It's four. It's not. Maybe if it was five, and I say one off the bench.
Necessarily believe that, but I'm happy with the way he did it.
Yeah, and if he's
I
going,
don't mind one of them coming off the bench. I don't mind that.
fine.
Not
But
at all.
these four players are, four of our 6 best players. Get them on the pitch, and what he did with Liam Bailey, starting him as a forward, not Shimon Nichols, not Corey Burke, but Leon Bailey as a forward. That kind of tells us that, Arguments feels like he needs to have these players on the pitch, rather than bringing one of them on as an impact player. What were some good things from the game? Tell me some positives that you took from the game yesterday. We're going to do the negatives too, but tell me the positives. Or either way, which way you want to start, negative or positive. Just tell me what you get from the game.
Just my assertion being consolidated about Damian Lowe being one of the best and most indispensable players on this Jamaica team, contrary to what many of you people out there, pundits and fans alike, constantly says, which frustrates the life out of me. It just shows that he's sheer class, and he constantly shows us that. So I'm not sure why there's an ongoing debate about his quality, because it's undeniable at this point. We still have one of, if not the best goalkeeper in Kalkoff, at least top 3. I think Keylor Navas Andre Blake and Turner, there's not much to split them, and get more throw. And I think that's like definitive. So we get that, and we see that, we saw that in the game again. Lembikisa is 19 years old.
Yep.
And he showed that he can hold his own as a defensive player in our back line. A positive, Demar Gray made his debut and got a goal contribution. Not the type of debut that I had expected or I had hoped. I had hoped he would have given us, but definitely a goal contribution. So that's one goal contribution from one game. Keep it going. Mikel Antonio, always a ray of sunshine for this Jamaican
Looking
team.
dangerous.
He works so hard and he does exactly what it is that we need him to do. Those are a bit of bright sparks that we got from the game. So like individually, there are a few players that impressed me, few players that disappointed me, but individually, I'm satisfied, and that's something that we can harp on.
All right. So you spoke on the player side. I'm going to talk about the coach side and the tactics and the way we play, the style of play. I'm impressed. I'm optimistic going forward. I love the press that we employed. Obviously it's not the finished article. We are going to get better. But what I saw Algimson trying to do, pressing with the front three and asking one of the midfielders, and I like how they interchange it too. Whenever Latibodier went, Lambert was sitting. Whenever Lambert went, Latibodier was sitting. And I feel like they did well in that midfield in terms of defensive. And even when they got the ball, I feel like they did well. The pressing was an impressive part of the game for me. I feel like Algimson wanted to be expressive. I feel like he wanted to play the way we want to play. Obviously, again, it's not the finished article. But whenever we had the ball, we tried to get it to our attackers as fast as possible. And we tried to take advantage of our space, of our pace, and just our trickiness, our power, speed. That's what we tried to do. Obviously, it didn't work for large parts of the game. But I feel like in the first half, that's what we came out and that's what we wanted to do. So, in terms of our style of play, I like it. I feel like Algimson knows that he doesn't have really good creative midfielders in the Jamaican pool. I'm not even just talking about this team. Our Jamaican pool is not one that is, blessed with a lot of great midfield talent. Defensively, he's going to set up strong in the midfield. No, defensively he's going to set up strong. In the midfield, he's going to give the defense coverage, and then get the ball to our attackers as fast as possible. Give them some support with one of our midfielders. I don't know if you realize Lambert was always supporting the four of them, and see where we go from there. And I like that. I feel like in times past, we saw where coaches either tried to play the ball a lot, in parallel, which is not a system that I hate. I kind of liked it, but I feel like we were overplaying at times, play the ball a lot, and then the coach before that topper, where we just bypass the midfield altogether and just play long balls. I feel like this is the perfect situation for Jamaica. It's not finished yet, but I see for parts of that game, he wanted our attackers to be expressive. What do you think about
that? You definitely see that he's liberal about how he utilizes his wide players and his forwards. It seems as though, and I have no issue with it, dribbling and carrying the ball is encouraged by all four of the attacking players. Bobby Reid, Demar Gray, Liam Bailey, and Mikel Antonio all have the license to be creative and to go for it and make things happen. And that's how I think they should be managed, as players with the talent that they possess. That's exactly what it is that I want to see from them. I want to see them be experts. I want to see them being utilized in that manner.
Yeah.
I also like the coverage that you provide using 2 6s in a sense. I enjoy when football is played with 2 deep holding midfielders that tackle, that are big, that are strong, that are smart.
And Liam Bailey offered the creative.
And Leon Bailey dropped off and offered the, I wouldn't necessarily say creative, but the ball carrying role.
Yeah.
So Leon Bailey offered.
He's more of a ball carrier than a creative passer.
He dropped off and he carried the ball in transition to open up space, to make the simple pass, and to then be a catalyst for the offense. So not necessarily playmaking, but more a ball carrying, attacking midfield. And that's kind of the role that we saw from Leon Bailey, which I liked. That's what you said you would have had Leon play as one of the forwards. So that he could drop off and be that link-up play, allowing Bobby Reid to play on his more familiar right side, which is exactly what we saw.
Yeah, and as I said, I like the way we played in parts, but this is what I expected from the Reggae Boys. I expected us to be inconsistent in the game because it's our second competitive game, third. they can't say third competitive game because we really approached that America game, like we wanted to win it, and we tried to give a good account of ourselves. It wasn't a trial run. It wasn't testing out players. It was our best team playing against America trying to get a result. This is probably the second training camp we've had. I know it's going to get better. But I like what we saw. I expected the inconsistencies. I expected America to have, parts of the game where they dominated. I expected Jamaica to have parts of the game that we dominated. In the first half, we started really well, but I feel like we last night I said that we shocked them, but that was probably overstating. I feel like we did what we wanted to do in the opening parts of the game. We scored early. We were dangerous. We won free kicks. We were getting crosses into the box. We were getting in dangerous areas, even if it didn't end in a shot or end in, pulling out a save. I feel like we did what we wanted to do in the first half. In the second half, I feel like America adjusted and they just dominated the game. And they probably dominated the second half more than we dominated the first half. And so in totality, I saw what I expected, and the draw, I feel like we both predicted a draw. And I feel like in the balance of things, we got a penalty that we missed. They got some good chances that they didn't score. I feel like a draw was a fair result. They had 4 shots on target. We had 3 shots on target. They had a lot of shots more than us. They had 12. But a lot of them were speculative at best. A lot of them, we got blocks, and a lot of them they missed. Just missed the target altogether. And I wouldn't say we're clear goal scoring opportunities. So, and the balance of things, I feel like a draw was a fair result. Are you happy with the result? The performance was one thing, but are you happy with getting a draw in the first game of the Gold Cup against a weakened American team when this is just, we had 3 competitive debuts and, the team playing their second competitive game? Are you happy with a draw?
I expected us to draw
or
lose the game. Because this is a game where this is a competition where I think it's between us and Canada, who are fielding the best teams.
And I think Davis isn't there,
Alphonso Davis didn't go to the...
I think he's not there, but go on to still, check.
So we're fielding the best team on paper, and I think that we have the player for player to capture every single win, all the results in this competition. So I'm not happy with the draw, though I expect it.
Alphonso Davis is not in the Canadian squad.
So, which
I feel like individual that puts us over the top. We are player for player the best team in this Gold Cup. As a team.
Which is why I'm not happy with the result, though I expected it. Especially the way the result was gotten to. That made me even more annoyed. I just want to see a Jamaica team playing together and dominating teams and getting shots on target and using our skills to get more opportunities, which we didn't do and I didn't see, and it's a bit frustrating. So I'm not happy with the result that I expected.
I understand that. I'm not happy with the result. I would have wanted a win. I feel like we did enough to win the game. America also did enough to win the game. But we got a penalty, and 88 minutes in the game we were leading. I feel like with 2 minutes of regulation.
Haven't we seen this all too often?
Mexico, America already. Bro, we've seen this. We've seen it. We concede late goals. But one thing we knew coming into this game, Jamaica, we are going to concede. And we knew that. We said it in our preview. I was watching the game with somebody and I said it to them. We scored our first goal and I say, we're going to concede, so we need to get another one. I won the penalty. And unfortunately, I just felt like we were going to miss a penalty. And you shared that sentiment. That it's almost like you knew that we were going to miss. We're going to talk about Liam Bailey's penalty when we're rating the players, but we knew that we were going to concede. And so I'm not happy with it. I'm still optimistic, but I'm not happy with the result itself. The performance gave me some optimism. It gave me something to think about and to be, expecting of this team. Now let's give the players some ratings. Andre Blake.
Good game by the skipper. Very good game by the skipper.
Yep.
He showed his distribution skills now. He's at a level comparable to other good goalkeepers in the region at least. And it wasn't there before. And it was clear that Boyce Clark and Jamal Waite are all better at foot than Andre Blake is. I don't think it's as definitive anymore.
Oh.
You know, he was picking the Gray so easily and confidently,
Mhm.
and he was making all the right decisions
Bro,
with his feet.
did he look awkward at any moment?
No,
And we saw games with our own eyes in the national stadium when Paula, was just trying to do that playing out from the back. Andre Blake looked awkward. In this game, him look like him not look like
hard work
Mhm.
shows, eh?
Him not like Allison, don't get me wrong. But him
And
definitely don't like a novice.
He never will look like Alice.
But him look
But
comfortable
don't
enough.
get me wrong, hard work shows.
Mhm.
And it was clear that work has been put into this aspect of his game.
Yeah, and kudos to Andre Blake. Yeah, have to give him a quick round of applause. You know him there? Yeah. You know that guy already. But yeah, continue with that.
Yeah, so hard work is evident. And
For sure.
you can see him making 300, 400, 500 of those passes to that left flank.
I was impressed.
You can see that he does that every single evening before he leaves the training ground.
It was so accurate.
Yeah, and he did it time and time again. Where he just controlled the ball. So I just lofted it right over to the Gray, lofted it right over to Amari Bell, kept it moving, and that was just him on his feet alone. Not to mention the saves that we come to expect from Andre Blake, as per usual. That he does it every single time he plays for us or for his club, and he made some really good ones, and I mean some really good saves that saved us a couple of points.
Yeah.
So although he conceded, I'll have to go ahead and give Andre Blake an 8 for his performance, in my opinion.
Obviously, this is SofaScore people, and we're not going off their player ratings. We're going to make our own. But I feel like Andre Blake was one of our best players. He made 2 exceptional saves.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Anytime I keep a save a one-on-one, when the player take a good shot,
Yeah.
it's a good save, bro. You hear me I say?
And the other foot saver is going to the other side of the goal and managing to.
Yeah, so Andre Blake, really good game, making
because this is going
very
to take,
important
this is
saves.
going to take into account his yellow card and all
And he
of that
conceded
type
2
of,
goals. He conceded a goal. But he made saves that were supposed to be goals. That first one, bro, it was so impressive because what the player did, he knew that Andre Blake was coming and going to make himself big. You get it over and put your win. You score.
No, but as soon as he looked down on the ball,
Andre Blake was at his feet.
as soon as he looked up, saw his positioning, as soon as he looked down, Andre Blake rushed
right
out,
there.
and the next thing he knew, he was out for a corner.
Because the thing with goalkeeping, bro, and you should know better than I do, when you come out and you spread your hands, you get switch for the ball, you favor to that side, you either put out your right foot or your left foot, depending on where you think the ball is going to go. He went the right side, so Andre Blake's foot was out. So if you get it over him, chances are you're going to score. Andre Blake managed to still get a hand or, a shoulder to it. I feel like that was impressive because he knew what the player was going to do.
And
awesome.
him rushing out to the ball. So that save was worth a goal.
Yeah, I like that save more than the other one actually. Even though the other one was
ridiculous.
The other one was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But Andre Blake
going back across the goal and getting his foot back down, ridiculous. Not to mention his work on his feet.
Yeah, I'm going to give the skipper 8. Also because I feel like he was one of our best players.
Yeah.
Let's go with Amari Bell, who came off with an injury in the second half.
I hope he's okay, first of all. Tax lines wasn't terrible either, but we'll get to that, I'm sure. Amari Bell, I think he helped move the ball forward. I think he was pretty solid on his left side. There were a lot of squares that came in from that side, but nothing too dangerous.
Yeah.
I think Amari Bell did exactly what he needed to do to keep his opposing player under wraps, and I was pretty okay with his game. Nothing too special, but he didn't make any serious errors or serious blunders. And I have to go 6.5 for Amari Bell. Yeah,
I'm going to go 6 because they didn't try a lot down our right side, down our left side.
6 for Amari Bell.
6. I was double checking. Amari Bell let me just double check. Had the least amount of duels of all the starters.
Yeah.
2 duels. He won the 2 duels that he was in, but they came down our right side more, and the Lembikisa did well there. Don't get me wrong. But Amari Bell, he did what he was supposed to do. He kept it safe. We didn't see much going forward, but defensively he was okay. Not much to complain about with Amari Bell. Hope he's okay with, and I feel like he's the player that we go again at the left back spot, even though Taxi didn't do awful. But Amari Bell 6, decent performance. Let's go with Joel Latibodier.
I'm gonna go with the central defender them first.
Oh, yeah. Damian Lowe. I don't know why I'm still
It'll be Mariappa. Mariappa was the left centre.
Mariappa, and then we'll go right across.
Mariappa
there. Right, Mariappa.
5. Not a great game from Mariappa. There were moments when he did read the game properly, but too many wayward passings, and his heading is so inaccurate. And it's so weird. It's as though I don't think he made one good pass with his head all game.
Yeah.
You know, Mariappa is not as sharp as he once was, and I don't think he contributes to winning as well as he used to. Not a great game from Mariappa, but not complicit in anything leading to the goal, but still making a few errors that almost led to a goal. So I have to go 5 for Mariappa.
Yeah, I'm also going to go 5 for Mariappa for the fact that he still doesn't, and this is harsh, I'm talking about what, a 36-year-old? Doesn't look up to the pace. His heading was atrocious. I remember a time, I'm not sure the player, but an American player was like maybe 10 yards away from him. You know, and it was a defensive clearance, and he headed the ball directly at the American player.
The thing about it was about 15 yards behind him was Lambert. So it was supposed to be an easy lofted header over to your central midfielder.
That was awful. But
he scuffed it.
But in the box, I feel like he was decent. You know, when they were ripping in crosses, it was always Lambert, Mariappa, or Damian Lowe there to meet it with a head.
Yeah, I think
not as convincing as the other two, but he was there.
The first save that Andre Blake was forced to make, I think Mariappa was high and out of position on that play. I think that's how I don't remember which player it was got through and got the shot on Andre Blake. So I just, you know, I guess he's the best we have right now.
Yeah. And overall, he didn't look awful, but at the same time, he's not Mariappa. He's not.
He made too many mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. Damian Lowe, my man of the match.
Yeah, Damian Lowe. I think who did
Yeah, he's also their man of the match. No, Ferreira is their man of the match with 7.6. Damian Lowe with 7.5.
Damian Lowe for me, my man of the match. Silly yellow card to start the game, and about 4 minutes in. You know, not sure what he was thinking.
Interesting to see Damian Lowe heat map.
But after that card, he didn't put a step wrong for the rest of the game. He was everywhere and anywhere. He was making great passes. I'd love to see his passing stats because how often he managed to get it.
Still a bit weird. Accurate passes 58, but a lot of I want to see the long balls. 7 or 14 long balls. So the long balls was the problem.
No, but he was playing a lot of long passes over to Mikel Antonio, and he saw that he was deliberately doing it. And sometimes it would have been cut out, and some of those might be deemed as clearances as well. Yeah. I'm saying just the fact that you can get it down there with Antonio,
and if you're accurate,
get it on Antonio 7 out of 14 times, that's pretty solid, and that's something that stood out for me in the game. His tackling though. His last guy's tackling on a yellow card. I remember he was like 2, and had they gotten through it. And some of his intercepting headers. You know, his interceptions, period, just how well he read the game. How many times did America try to play a true pass and Damian Lowe just came diagonally and just control it, keep it moving? Damian Lowe, the best player on the field today. Not to mention he was the person who brought the deadlock and put us ahead with a well-finished header, I might add. That was class placement. You know, he dove in, he got great power on it. You saw how that hit the net hard, as though it was kicked off of a volley. And he was just in good position, as he always is. And we've predicted Damian Lowe for many goals. We've always been wrong.
This should have been his second header against America, though. And his second headed goal against America. Still kind of salty about that, because who knows, maybe our World Cup qualifying campaign would have, taken another turn. But continue. Still salty.
This was an outstanding header.
For sure.
An outstanding header. Like, cut through, crushed it off his head into the goal. Yeah. For me, an 8.5. Ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
Yeah, bro, Damian Lowe, my favorite player. Everybody knows how I feel about Damian Lowe. I feel like we actually am able to be Mr. Jamaica. When I think about a Jamaican player, I think about who plays with heart every single time, who you can see wants to be on the pitch, who I think represents the country well every single time. It's Damian Lowe, bro. It's Damian Lowe. And remember, we said we don't see less than 7 from Mariappa in Sadie.
I was just about to say. That description that you just said a while ago is Mariappa.
You know that is Mariappa in Sadie. But no, we don't see less than a 7 from Damian Lowe, bro. We don't see less than a 7. Sometimes you're going to get the odd tackle here or there where you're going, bro, like it's 3 minutes into the game. You are under the opponent's back.
It was a clearance, but why?
Yeah, it was a clearance. Well, it's 3 minutes into the game. Why you do that? And then right after you're under opponent's back,
Yeah,
Yeah, run like a loot.
one
You get me?
that one was annoying.
Sometime
On a yellow card.
Sometime him lose him
That
head
was
more. But
frustrating.
this is Mr. Jamaica for me. I mean, not just say that because him score a goal. I mean, not just say that because he had an outstanding performance. I just feel like
about the goal, the very last thing.
just overall, he made 11 clearances. He was always there, even though I don't know. America eventually got their goal from a cross, but I feel like every single cross before that, it was just unfruitful for them. We were always there making edit clearances. I just feel like and Damian Lowe came out, gave us, coming off an injury by the way, and gave us an exceptional performance. He deserved to win this game. He deserved to win this game.
If only him on the field, and Andre Blake deserved to win this game.
For sure. So I'm going to give Damian Lowe 8.5. Not a flawless game, but at the same time, a really, really good game. And better than Damian Lowe. So I forgot 8.5. Better than Andre Blake. I forgot 8.5. Big up Nana every time. Dexter Lembikisa, who I believe had a good game, bro. I think some people are going to be harsh on him. And maybe when me do my breakdown, I can't start like I'm already at top. Dexter Lembikisa, I feel like, covered the right side well. Defensively, he was solid. He tried to make a few runs some of the time and lost the ball. And I feel like maybe Algrimson just said, that's not what I'm going to ask you to do. Keep it safe. Give the ball to the attackers and just support them right behind. For the goal that we conceded, I'm still going to give him a little bit of blame. We spoke about this off camera, but I'm still going to give him a little bit of blame. I feel like he had enough time to keep his eye on the ball and make a clearance. The ball surprised him, jumped into his lap, went onto the feet of an American attacker. Goal. I feel like that's not the way you should be conceding the 88th minute. Lambert did miss the header, but at the same time, I feel like he was a good
couldn't have been more than
6-7 yards. Yeah. 6-7 yards away where he probably could have made a better decision and not allowed the ball to surprise him. Even though that did happen, I'm not going to be too harsh on him. I'm going to give him a 6. Because I feel like him have in at the goal, but at the same time, a decent performance from Lembikisa. So I feel like we'll go with him again in the second game and in the more important game in this competition. He's taking this right back spot, man. He's taking this right back spot in the competitive games that I've seen him. He just looks good. I remember in the Mexico game, I think Javian Brown started. He did okay, but then Lembikisa came on at halftime and just showed why, this spot should be his. And again in this American game, I feel like he dealt with the threat from the left side of the American attack very well. 6 for me.
Yeah, as I said, the thing about it, I don't really give him too much flack for the goal.
Look at his position.
But as a defender though,
yeah,
or as a footballer period, they even say it with the forwards, like
see, bro, error leading to goal, bro.
Like you always say it with the forwards, like even if it looks like the defender is going to get a clearance on it, get your body in good position so you can make the tapping. Because we see with forwards all the time, a defender swing and miss or buck and miss, and it pop up on them because they're like, alright. And I think that's kind of what happened to him, where he saw Lambert went up for it and then he got flat-footed. You can't allow yourself to get flat-footed in that situation. You get me? So you have to stay square. You have to, even though Lambert go up for it, you have to swing on for it with the same timing as though it had a drop on. You get me? So if Lambert had gotten a deflection and you swing on for it and it slices and going at the goal, that would be a different matter.
Yeah.
He got flat-footed, but I don't really give him too much flack for that goal, as I understand what happened. Understand why it popped up on him. It's just very unfortunate where it landed. It's so unfortunate where it landed. But yeah, solid game. Going forward, I don't think he gave us a lot. I think he made a few dribbles unsuccessfully a couple of times. And that's why I'm giving him a 6. Had I like really blamed him for the goal and said, yo, you have to do better, your fault, it'd have probably been a lower rating. But I'm giving him a 6 because I think it was a good game defensively, good enough. But not very much above average.
Let's go to midfield 4. Demar Gray, his competitive debut for Jamaica. Done in the number 12. Started the game very sharp, I feel like. I feel like the first time he got the ball in the box, one of the American defender them, made a cross. I feel like, I'm not sure if it was Liam Bailey or Bobby Reed or Mikel Antonio. But you have to get across the defender right there, so bro. You get me? So you have to make a out to in run and get across the defender. I'm not sure if you remember what I talk about. When he made a good trick, skill move.
He got a corner out of it.
And crossed the ball in the 6-yard box. probably 3/4 of the 6-yard box the ball run, and he was not a Jamaican player. I feel like somebody should have been there. Started well, he took the free kick. I feel like it was a good free kick. He whipped the ball into a dangerous area. Damian Lowe finished it off.
Penalty spot essentially.
First goal contribution in his first game. Can ask for more, but at the same time, I feel like he had a good first half and overall a decent performance because he tapered off towards the end. How do you feel about Denmark? I'm going to give him a 6.5 because he was basically non-existent in the second half.
Yeah,
he was so absent.
That's why I'm giving him a 6. You know, he wasn't very involved tracking back. You know, a lot of times he stopped running. You know, I don't think he was as active in the press as Leon Bailey, Michael Antonio, Bobby Reid, and Lambert or Latibodiere was. I don't think his contribution was really impactful in the press. I wanted to see him.
So it's non-existent.
Yeah, I wanted to see him work harder in the press. And I wanted to see him work harder overall. He went absent for where I say.
Me look at his passing. 12 of 15, 4 of 5 long balls. Yeah, 4 accurate long balls of 5. It's not bad. His passing, I feel like he had the highest passing accuracy on the pitch. So that's something to mention.
Yeah, as I said, I think I didn't see him very often in the game.
I feel like this is all first half stats.
He seemed non-existent for the most part. Very good delivery for the goal that was scored. But besides that, you know, I can't say there's a lot to really to harp on. And that's why I'm giving him a 6.
Yeah, and we go again. We go again with Demar Gray. I'm so impressed with that first 15 minutes. That I feel like with consistency, with getting to know the players knowing his runs, knowing how to support chemistry, that it's going to bring out the best in Demar Gray. And he just looked sharp. More see one of them cut in there. Him try one time. I feel like it was probably a cross, but more see what will happen 3, 4, 5 games into his Jamaican career, into his international career. I just want to see that. What is he going to look like? You see me? Let's go right across. So we are going Latibodiere now. Joel Latibodiere. Had a decent game. Could have been better. I feel like he lost his head a lot of times in the game, especially in the first half when we were doing well as a team. Sometimes when he didn't need to clear the ball, he was clearing the ball. I remember one time, don't know why, and he did it twice. But this specific time in the first half, we made a headed clearance. The American team headed it back. And when he was supposed to just control the ball and pass it to Lambert, the man play head tennis with the American midfield. I said, bro, just keep ahead, control the ball, pass off the ball. Another time, we were in their half and he just needed to make a simple pass and I feel like he dribbled the ball. Just made an awful decision. So I feel like for parts of the game, he was good, but for other parts of the game, he wasn't as good. And that's why I'm not going to agree with this score. They rate him higher than Demar Gray. I'm going to give him a 6 because I feel like he was just okay. I feel like Lambert was the better of the pair. And so I'm going to give Joel Latibodiere a 6. Defensive coverage, he was good. He offered very good defensive coverage. But as a midfield ball carrier, ball player, I feel like he could have been better. 58% passing accuracy. 1 key pass. 1 cross, wasn't accurate. 4 long balls, none of them connected. Won 6 of his 8 ground duels, which is good. Aerial duels, 1 of 1. Made 1 foul. Lost possession 13 times. That's awful. You don't lose possession 13 times. I remember when I was younger, I had a coach. Tangent, real quick. He said when you were playing as a central midfielder, you have 3 times to lose the ball in a game. And I mean from losing possession. I don't mean making, trying to pass and it not coming off. In the midfield, you can't lose the ball more than 3 times. And if in professional football, you probably go to 5, you probably go to 6. But when you see 13 as a central, it's just awful. I'm always remember that. Can't lose possession 13 times in the midfield. I just not like it. So I'm gonna give him a 6. Was an okay game, and I feel like more to come, better to come from Joel Latibodiere. Interesting that he didn't go with Russell though. How you feel about Joel Latibodiere?
Not much more to add to what you're saying. Latibodiere is going to be our utility player going forward. I'm very excited that he's in the team. I'm very excited that we have young players in the team going forward to step back and fill that gap. And Latibodiere can play in so many different positions. And I think he is the type of central midfielder that Hallgrimsson wants. So I'm satisfied with his introduction. He's had an okay game, as I said. but definitely more to come.
Yeah, I agree. Kevin Lambert, really good game. Impressed me. I didn't have much time for Kevin Lambert, if me I be honest. Didn't have much time for Kevin
And I was
Lambert.
getting impatient at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but man, was he important to the press? Did he just provide really good defensive coverage? Was he always there to make the headers, the defensive headers, when the American wingers were trying to whip crosses into the box? I feel like he had a really good game. 71 passing accuracy, one key pass, didn't connect on any long balls. He won the penalty. I again feel like he was better than Latibody. I'm going to give him a 6.5. As a midfielder, it could be better. Probably a little bit harsh, given that he won the penalty. But I'm going to go a 6.5. Ground duels, he won 4 of 9. Aerial duels, he didn't lose any, and that was clear from watching the game. But yeah, 3 clearances, 3 interceptions. That's really good, by the way. 3 tackles. Yeah, Lambert 6.5. Impressive. Feel like I don't know if he's getting better, but it seems as if he's getting better. What I saw from him, in this game was, I wouldn't be mad if he started in the other 2 games and even in the more competitive games. I don't have a problem with him at all, and this kind of makes me, trust Algimson a little bit more, because he's obviously seeing what we're not seeing. We didn't even give Lambert a looking in our starting line. Even though Algimson persists with him, we didn't give him a looking, and he's starting Algimson team, and I feel like he didn't let him down. 6.5.
I'll start by saying I'm giving him a 7.
Can't argue with it. He won the penalty.
Very good game from Lambert. Started a bit slowly, and sometimes I wish, and this is what we lacked. This is what we lacked from Jonathan. This is what we would get from Russell. The ability to make half turns and transition the ball forward. Sometimes you saw Lambert just make the simple lateral pass or the simple back pass, which gave me PTSD to Devon Williams. So that's the only thing that I would have.
He's better than Williams. I feel like
he's better than Devon Williams. Not I feel like that's why he's here and Devon Williams was playing last night. While this game was going on, Devon Williams was actively playing a game, so he couldn't even get to watch the game, boys. There's a reason for that. But I'm saying I got some Devon Williams PTSD with some passes where all he had to do was open up his body and he would have seen the switch.
Yeah.
And he kept it in the same area. That was at the beginning of the game. That was kind of annoying me. But besides that one element to his game, everything else spectacular.
Yeah.
He won everything in the area, and he was a part of that defensive line that would have rendered America's 27 squares almost futile, but not for one slight error. Tackling, he was solid. He looked strong. He was in very good position, and he looked like the defensive midfielder that we've been calling for how long that he wasn't before. And it was impressive to see how he looked today. He was given new responsibilities, being made to press high sometimes, to break his line with Latibody and go forward and press central defenders and press central defensive midfielders and press wing backs. And we saw where he did that with sheer tenacity and intensity. He got out on them so quickly, and he used his defensive prowess on defenders, which defenders simply aren't used to.
Looks strong in the midfield too.
Defenders
Pushing
simply
players
aren't
apart.
used to people that good defensively pressuring them.
Yeah.
Because defenders are normally pressuring attackers. And we saw where he made the US defenders uncomfortable. We saw where he hurried them, and we saw how quickly he would have gotten back into position after making these surges forward. Additionally, he did provide a big presence for us in the box when we were getting forward, long throws, bothering defenders and such. Passing the ball relatively well and just being that rock in the midfield that we needed today. And that's why I'm giving him a 7. And the only thing I have against him is, as I said, just
be more mobile in midfield.
Yeah, which Jonathan Russell is that person. We see Jonathan Russell have the half turns, and he gets the ball going forward.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I would have seen lacking from Kevin Lambert's performance. Besides that one small element, he was everything else.
Yeah, to add to that, I feel like this was his best game I've seen in a Jamaican shirt. Honestly, it was so important to our press. I just love what Alginson did with that press. Bobby De Cordova-Reid, feel like he had an average game. Could have been better defensively. I can say he was doing a lot of work. Let me see if heat map. Hopefully this not make me a liar. But yeah, he was doing a lot of up and down. He was supporting the attack as well. Didn't create many chances. I remember one time.
You see him at the side of our box.
Yeah, man. I mean, I say him support. He did a lot of defensive work. He was up and down. He was a midfielder yesterday. He was a right midfielder yesterday. You know, could have seen some more from Bobby Reid. He was popping up in their box. I remember one time Mikel Antonio linked up well, and you know he tried to pull something off. It didn't quite come off. But promising again. And this is what I expect going forward when, as I say, 4, 5, 6 games with this same starting 11, bro. Me expect some more of that link up. I expect some more of play the ball on the channel to Mikel Antonio and Bobby Reid a burst into the box. You know, with Mikel Antonio make a slip pass. No, you're not the box. I look for something. I'm expecting some more of that. It came, you know, few and far in between. You know, so expecting much more from Bobby Reid. Feel like him can give us a bit more going forward.
Yeah.
Average performance 6. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't great. Let me see if him creating a chance. No.
Same, nothing more to add. There's
There's not much from Bobby Reid. Also last position 13 more times, but as I said, that's for the midfielder. Going forward, you're expected to lose the ball a bit more. Yeah, Bobby Reid 6. That's what it is. What would they in the forward line now? Make a leave Liam Bailey for last. Mikel Antonio. We can start with this one.
Solid game. You know, I'm very impressed with Mikel Antonio. I'm very impressed with his drop-off play and his link-up play and his hold-up play and his fight and his tenacity. That's something that he gives us all the time. You know what's underrated? His first touch. Pretty good first touch. You know, his ability to pull the ball out of the air and get it under control.
You know what's underrated? His strength.
Yeah, well,
oh my God, is this guy strong?
That's not underrated.
No, not at all. That's well rated. We get, we know it and we get it every single time.
He's ridiculously
So strong.
But definitely his ability to take the ball out of the air effectively with his chest, his head, his thigh, or his feet, and getting it into position and playing it off to one of the wide midfielders is unparalleled in this Jamaican squad. You know, and I'm so happy that we have that as an asset. As I said, he did, you know, create some opportunities going forward, and he was a menace to the defenders. Nothing super spectacular to harp on today. But we will see a moment in the Gold Cup, I'm sure.
For sure.
Just not today. But a 6.5. Relatively impressed with his performance.
Yeah, his dropping off was good. His pressing was good. I feel like he was running so hard to the point where I feel like he came off because he was tired. The thing with Mikel Antonio though, in the game yesterday, I agree with you. Good presence up front, you know, strength opening up other things for other players. Can't be a forward play 75 minutes and not get a shot. But I feel like that happened because he had a lot of runners and a lot of passers. I don't feel like this Jamaican team is filled with creative passers. What we have is a Demar that's going to run with the ball. What we have is a Bobby Reid. Yeah, he's more of a creator, but at the same time, not an exceptional creator. Liam Bailey, who is also a runner more than a passer. So our number 9, our striker, is going to suffer for that. You know, but at the end of the day, as a forward, you can't play 75 minutes and not get a shot. I mean, even if it's a speculative shot, you have to get a shot. You know, but I feel like SofaScore is underrating his performance. They give him a 6.2. It's hard still because we got a lot of good performance, but I feel like he was better than I don't think he was the worst player on the pitch. I don't feel like any Jamaican player was awful in this game. So I'm going to give him let me give Bobby Reid a 6. Yeah, but I give him just around a 6. Yeah, he was probably a little bit better than Bobby Reid in that he offered, you know, a dangerous presence up front.
So you just say you don't feel SofaScore rating highly.
No, but look,
SofaScore.
Yeah, because for them rating off,
So,
them
in comparison to other people.
Yeah. They have him as the worst player. Liam Bailey.
Start.
You start with that one, eh?
Yeah.
I don't want to be harsh, you
Let
know.
me start.
Alright, go on.
First thing I want to say, people are going to beat me for saying
Yeah,
this.
tell me I hesitate in the
No,
car.
people are going to beat me for saying what I'm about to say. Right?
Go on.
People are going to say this and them are going to say that. There's this thing going around where people are questioning his commitment and his heart. Saying that, he doesn't perform for Jamaica because he's not committed or because he doesn't care.
Madness.
I want to rubbish those claims right here and right now. Matter of fact, more click this and post this on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere.
I shall, my brother.
Because I've been hearing it how him can do this for him club, how him can do this in a German, how him can do this in England. And when him come to Jamaica, when him come play with Jamaica, he can not. And they must say, oh, because him not care, or they think because him not care. I mean, I say, yo, have you watched the game? Do you see a person who doesn't care?
Yeah.
Because that's definitely not what I see. You know, I see a person who is working his tail off, who is giving everything that he can give for his country, you know, who is willing to play hurt for his nation. And, you know, the way he tracks back, I don't see that when he play for Villa. The way him continue running, the way him press and tackle and, you know, and leads on the field, I just don't see that for him when he's in Europe. And I definitely see a more mature player. I definitely see a more determined player when he's playing in Jamaica colours. So let me preface this whole rating by saying that first and foremost. Now, why he's played 19 games for Jamaica and still hasn't gotten it right yet, I don't know. But let me rubbish the assertions that it's because he just doesn't care when he plays for Jamaica. Because that's the furthest thing from the truth. This man is completely committed and he's completely driven.
One of the hardest workers. Yeah, on the pitch every single time Liam Bailey plays for Jamaica. And I agree with it. So before you get rating, me I go pile on. I feel like people just say things just because. You know, if you really watch the game, first of all, Liam Bailey is getting in good position, attacking going forward.
Yeah.
But defensively, he's always working. Liam Bailey not stop running when he play for Jamaica, bro.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when we're pressing and another player isn't pressing,
another player is
you know, slacking off.
effing up on them press.
Liam Bailey is always there. Liam Bailey is always running.
Cover for two people.
You see me? So don't question the commitment, bro. If I one thing I can't question from Liam Bailey, it's the commitment. He wants to play for Jamaica. It's clear if we're supposed to use the way him, you know, play with him heart on the pitch. He loves Jamaica. If that I'm supposed to use. You get me? I say, I'm not question that. No.
For sure.
On the technical and the ball playing side, then we can criticize in game. But in terms of heart and commitment, that can't be the reason why I'm not score 10 goals in a 19 games. It can't be. Madness. So, I agree with it. Continue with the rating.
Alright, so just to preface the ratings now, so people can beat me on that, but people will agree with me as to how I rate his performance. Not a very good performance again. You know, and it started out well. You know, he started out dropping off, playing in that off-forward position, picking up the ball and turning and making good runs. And I'm like, okay, this boy has come to play today. You know, but it's just not connecting for some reason.
Look at this ground duel. It was in 18 duels, bro. I want 10.
That's tenacity.
That's tenacity.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah, so I think when Liam Bailey he's played 19 times for the country, I think he's either he's overdone it or he's underdone it. So it's either he's been too tentative or he's been too overzealous. I don't think he's gotten that balance that he's managed to achieve domestically. Where you know that he's comfortable in an area, he's training with a group of people and he just plays his game and he's free. I think he's always either too tentative or overzealous. I don't think he's managed to get that balance just yet. It shouldn't take him 20 games to get it. Unfortunately, it has. So let's hope he gets it within 25. Right? That's what we have to be hoping for right now. But he underdoes it sometimes where he's way too cautious, he passes way too much, and then in other times, like yesterday, he was just doing way too much.
Yeah.
And the simple passes that he was supposed to be making, he just wasn't making them. And there are times when you see him try to run past 3, 4, and 5 players, trying to be glorious, which we've urged him to do from time to time. And that's what we want to see, but we don't necessarily want to see it from the middle of the park. You know, we don't necessarily want to see you run all the way from the half line to the box. We want to see you take people down the wing and beat 2 or 3 people in dangerous areas. But not necessarily what we saw from him yesterday, where he was just carrying the ball and he was just holding it up too much and he was just not making the passes that he was supposed to be making, ending up losing the ball. Disappointing for me.
So hard. Liam Bailey is a player that I really like because I know the quality that Liam Bailey has. Liam Bailey is a really good footballer. People I go overboard on social media. See, he was trending #1 in football last night on Twitter. People just saying he's rubbish, and it's not true. You know, it hasn't connected yet. I can't say it's all come together yet for Liam Bailey, but he's not rubbish. Now the thing is, we're going to talk about the penalty. I agree with the assessment 100%. He started the game well and it tapered off. I feel like right after he missed that penalty, he just immediately tried to overcompensate with like a shot from 35 yards. And that's not, if it go in, then would they also say, mad. That's the quality we want to see, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't work. And the thing is, he tried to overcompensate. And even those times when he tried to take on 2, 3, 4, 5 players, it's because he tried to make up for missing the penalty. A lot of people blaming him for the reason, for the fact that we drew the game. And it's almost, whenever you're leading a game and then you draw the game after the 88th minute, it feels like a loss. You know, so a lot of people right there are going to blame him for that. But I feel like he had an average game, or some people say below average, because he tried to overcompensate. And I feel like if he just forgot about it, continued to play the game that he was playing, he would have had a better game and probably popped up with a goal. You know, again, we see the tenacity, one-on-one long ball, 63 passing accuracy. And I feel like that supporting striker role wasn't awful from him. I feel like he can do better though. But people, get it out on the head. Liam Bailey is a really good footballer. And I still believe, I still hold on to the hope that we will see better from Liam Bailey. We will see the Bayer Leverkusen and the Aston Villa Liam Bailey. We will see a wonder goal from Liam Bailey. We will see it in Jamaican colours. I'm a hope that we'll see it within 25 games. I really hope.
Positives, he really tracked back. He really worked hard. And we saw yesterday that he was tackling. He was working hard. But in the grand scheme of things, it was a poor game.
Yeah.
It was a poor game, and we still haven't spoken about the missed penalty.
That's what we're going to.
And the rebound.
We're going into that right now. I wish we could have showed the video, but we don't want to get copyright, bro. Did Liam Bailey cost us this game? Straight up and down. Was Liam Bailey the reason why Jamaica drew a game against America in the 2023 Gold Cup opener? Straight up and down.
No.
He was not the reason.
No.
Break that down to me.
Jamaica has to play better against the United States of America's B team with the players that we have.
A lot of people say C team.
Some people saying C team, but I'm going to say B team. This is their B team. I don't know why people saying C team. Like, you make 6, 7 changes to this team, 8, 9 changes, you bring some players then 18. So what is you get me? I said this is a B team. Like, the squad that we had in Austria was a B team. It wasn't a C team that we carried to Austria. Make no mistake. I hear people want to say, no, it wasn't our C team. That was our B team. Our C team was probably the squad we played against Trinidad. I'd refer to that, but this wasn't USA C team. It's a B team. But we still should be better in all aspects as a team. Yeah, we had some good individual performances, but as a team, I just don't think we were as good as we needed to be. Leon Bailey and Demar Gray, I think, were both as complicit, in their poor, slow performances, not really offering much. You get me? I said Mbikisa, though very solid. Maybe had you been on your toes, maybe had you expressed a bit more maturity. Even Lambert, a good game. Get ahead to that. Mariappa have to be better. So I wouldn't necessarily say Leon Bailey costed us this game. No. That second goal, they can't miss that. Not even so much the penalty, but the rebound. And you can't miss that. But then, did Shaman Nicholson cause us that game in
I understand.
in Austria?
I understand from a lot of people saying that Liam Bailey cost us the game. Score that penalty, okay. Missed the penalty, okay. That rebound you have to score. That's an empty goal. So even if you're not charging for the penalty, the penalty is not the reason why him cost you the game.
And by the way,
but you give me an empty goal.
My rating for Liam Bailey because of that 4.5.
Yeah, me that go 5 still.
Just because of that, the second one.
Bro, and
now when you miss the penalty, you lose 5. When you miss that, you lose 5 more. 4.5.
This is why people probably disagreed with me because I say another penalty, but agreed me for the second phase of that. Like, people miss penalty. If he's a penalty kicker, we're going at that right after this.
Yeah.
But you miss an open goal from like 10 yards out. There is no, probably less than 10 yards. Closer. That is the reason. If you're supposed to pick a reason,
the man put the ball right back of your foot.
Bro, come on. That's worse than the penalty. And if them say, William Bailey cost you the game, that is the reason why. Because he missed an empty goal, not because he missed the penalty itself. People miss penalty. Even though it was an atrocious penalty, that second empty goal, brother, and that cost you the game. And that kind of show will say, William Bailey not as competent with his right foot. He's not as comfortable with his right foot and on his right side. Liam Bailey didn't cost us the game, but if people are going to say that he did, that's at the moment where they have to point him, not the penalty.
They just roll that back in.
Yeah.
And go take it back out and back.
But we have to create more goal scoring opportunities.
Yep.
Not gonna be too harsh on the team. because as I say, second competitive game. Saw sparks. I expected us to be inconsistent, but 88 minutes, there's no way you concede after 88 minutes. Being up. I will have to do better. So Al Grimson, I don't feel like this was an Al Grimson. I really don't. I feel like he set the team up well. I feel like we see in the first half, they were doing what he wanted them to do. They were pressing, they were getting the ball to the attackers, they were getting in dangerous positions. In the second half, somehow, I feel like they weren't executing what he wanted them to do. And additionally, America made adjustments. They did make adjustments. The high press wasn't working as well. They were breaking our press. They were getting in. But yeah, I'm not going to put this on Al Grimson. We're going to rate the coach now. I give Al Grimson 6.5. For the fact that it's a weakened American team, so you're expected to beat it. That's the first thing. Second of all, you have a better squad. Third of all, you know what? I didn't even got third of all. Because me say, we're up 1-0 with 88 minutes to go. You don't lose that game. But that's not on the coach. We can't put that on the coach. We have 11 professional players on the pitch. You are supposed to hold out in that game. So Al Grimson, what did you say? 7? 6.5? Yeah, Al Grimson, 6.5. Still optimistic, still expect more from them. I feel like the Mexico game, along with this game, in parts, give me reason to be optimistic. Where you rate Al Grimson?
Can I not?
You know what I rate Al Grimson?
Not really. As in,
Give me an analysis of the coach yesterday, without giving us a number rating.
Dude, first of all, I think subs were poorly timed. I think he took forever to make
they made 5 some before. I think we made 1.
And we were so gassed. Our attacking players were so tired. And we had firecrackers off the bench. We had game changers off the bench. Shamar Nichols, who came in the 80th minute, I think.
Yeah, Shamar Nichols came in.
Daniel Johnson, who came in very late. So we basically played with the same team for the whole of the game.
Ryan Bailey was asking to be subbed. Like not literally asking, but like on his play.
Yeah, in terms of his poor play.
Yeah, he needed to be subbed off.
When he was making the sub, Liam Bailey told him not to do.
Me hear him ask him. I don't think Liam Bailey. But think Liam Bailey went down. They must say, Liam, sub. I think Liam Bailey said no, not that. Me I go take you off, and Liam Bailey said, "Nah, come on."
Yeah. So I just think his management of the game was poor.
You think so?
Of course. We have Dujan Richards, we have Shamar Nichols, we have Corey Burke, we have Daniel Johnson, we have Kaim Paris. All game changers. All have the ability to come in and affect the game. And none of them were put on.
We say secure the game a bit
No
earlier.
change was made.
Even if it's not an attacking
change, the change was made when the goal was scored.
Daniel Johnson was going to come on. No, Taxi come on, but that was an injury substitution.
Yeah, injury substitution.
But then, right as the goal scored, Daniel Johnson was going to come on, but he called Nicholson. And then put on Daniel Johnson after. So yeah, it was after the goal scored. But I feel like, to add to that, bro, should have secured the game a bit earlier.
So Jonathan Russell was a player that could have come on being 1-0 up. USA started to apply the pressure. Maybe you bring on Jonathan Russell to shore up the back line. You get now to take off one of the wide players. Take off of the Mary Gray, bring on a Jonathan Russell, play with Bobby Ridley and Michael Antonio up front. Play Latty Bodie, Kevin Lambert, and Jonathan Russell in that situation, kind of showing up the game. Do something. Do something. I don't think he made any adjustments. I don't think he did anything. And BJ Callahan definitely made adjustments. And his substitutions were the reason why USA managed to come into the game. Not even so much the goal, but just the way how they started to take it to the Jamaican players with the substitutions that they made. It was clear that Callahan was out there coaching his team. I don't think Al Grimson did much coaching during the game and the day. So I'm not as high on Al Grimson's performance as you are. I think we should have made changes. We didn't make any changes. I think we should have made adjustments. I don't think we made any adjustments. Liam Bailey was playing poorly from the 20th minute all the way back to the 80th minute. The Mary Gray was absent. I thought we had Whisper. I thought we had Shamar Nichols. I thought we had Paris. All players with the ability to come on and inspire change in the game. And after 55 minutes, it was clear that something needed to happen. And he still did nothing.
I understand that.
And that's why I'm not as bullish on the coach's performance as you are.
I understand that. I understand the in-game management, but I feel like I really give him props to the way he set up the team and what he asked the team to do. In that he asked them to be expressive.
Only half of the job.
Half of the job, yes. I understand the in-game management, which is important. And I feel like it's a big part of coaching, especially at this level, you have to manage the game. It's international play. But the pressing that he employed and the way he asked them to be expressive, I feel like the execution was not as great from the players.
If we're going to rate the style of play, that would be rating Hallgrimsson on a holistic element. But if we're going to rate Hallgrimsson's performance in today's game, we can't use the pressing to give him rating on today's game.
For sure, because I'm sure in some other games, he's not going to employ the pressing way him do it. He's probably not going to ask the attackers to do exactly what they did. He probably probably be a bit more wing dominant. But in this game,
what if I think that because we saw where he tried to employ it in Austria.
This is just our style of play, no?
Yeah, I think this is how we play.
I have to give props to that.
This 4-2-2-2 type situation, with the two wide midfielders. Yeah, I think it's like 4-2-2-2 in our way. Like the two wide midfielders are more advanced. They definitely are more advanced. Sometimes resembling a 4-2-3-1. In a sense, I like that. I don't mind how he sets up the team. I don't mind his variation of the 4-4-2. If that's the way he's going to play the 4-4-2 going forward, I'm okay with that. I believe with the two holding midfielders, it will be able to be utilized against the best of them and against the worst of them as well. And I think that kind of continuity is going to be important for this Jamaican team going forward. So I'm okay with that. But when I'm going to rate his performance on the day, I can't necessarily use his holistic strategy. I have to look at his tactics on the game, and I don't think his tactics on the day.
But you feel like he costed us the game though, in the fact that the goal that we conceded, I feel like had nothing to do with coach.
I don't feel like he costed us the game, but I think he's complicit. I think Liam Bailey is complicit. Lemby Kisa to a much lesser extent, because I'm not giving him too much flack for that. Was complicit. Some could say Lambert could get ahead on it.
And a player was in between him. I think Damien Lowe was in between him and Mariappa.
Yeah, but Damien Lowe couldn't have gotten.
But
that was Lambert could have probably gotten ahead to it.
Then he's a bit more quick up.
You get me outside. The wing back probably get out there and prevent the square. So I think that there are a lot of people complicit to us not winning the game. Hallgrimsson is definitely one of them, and I think he takes a big ball card too.
Hallgrimsson going forward. In the Gold Cup. Have you seen enough to be optimistic about this tournament? I definitely have.
About this tournament, well, we've gotten a point against the favorites. So
defending champions.
Yeah, so if we can get a point against this USA team, we can get a point against any team in the whole competition. I'm not so once you get a draw, you give yourself a chance to win the game.
I'll get better, bro. I'll get better. And the thing is, if we apply this high press against Trinidad and St. Kitts, I can see us scoring numerous goals. And again, I expect it to get better. 4 or 5 games in, we can see the Jamaican team and look a bit more like what we want.
A 5-game tournament.
No, I understand that, but I mean 4 or 5 games into what Hallgrimsson is trying to do. You see me? So, I expect better. I expect us to get better with the games. You see me? So I'm optimistic. I expect this Jamaican team to do something in this tournament.
Not saying I'm optimistic, because I can see how we can blunder it, and Hallgrimsson's game management didn't give me any reason to be optimistic about him coaching us to a championship. Like how Lionel Scalini coached Argentina to a championship, aided by the great play of Lionel Messi, but his adjustments and his substitutions and his in-game management was one of the big reasons why Argentina would have won the championship. The way he performed and has been performing hasn't really given me any optimism that he'll be able to coach us to a championship. No. Strategically, I think he's pretty good. I think I can get on board with what he wants to accomplish on the grand scheme of things. In game,
definitely can get better in game. Definitely can get better. I'm gonna see what you say. I can see parts of the game where you should have made a decision. Introduce another midfielder. And Daniel Johnson for Liam Bailey, and putting Daniel Johnson for Demar Gray was not the sub, bro.
It wasn't the sub.
You have to bring in, if you bring him in, you have to bring him in for Liam Bailey and put him in at the midfield and bring on and leave one forward and bring on Dujan Richards as a winger, or bring on Kaim Price as a winger, or Corey Burke as a winger, not as another forward. He did that to try and win the game now.
And whenever he did that, it was already too late.
Yeah, man.
Whenever he made the subs, as far as me concerned, he never made no substitution. As far as me concerned, he did not make a single sub. As far as I'm concerned.
Subs were definitely too late. But yeah, still expect Jamaica to do something in the Gold Cup. We got over the task, but as I say, in parts. This American game overall wasn't great, but in parts, I see what we are trying to do. And I think we can do it better against. Let's our opponent get some confidence, and in the next round, I expect us to be better. Let's go, Reggae boys.
Should Liam Bailey be kicking penalties?
Should Liam Bailey be kicking penalties? You want that in our next video? Let's do that in our next video. Can box it off in our 8-10 minutes. Let's go. People, if you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to this or that Sports TV. Do one more thing for us though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us 6 subscribers, because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers that get us by the end of the day, people?
One leap. But for now, this or that Sports TV.
Bro, make sure you put a bad title and thumbnail up and down so people can watch
We want title me. Liam Bailey, the reason we lost to America. Question mark.
That's it, my father.
I put the thumbnail on the dog's face. A joke. I put Nana Low. I don't put Liam Bailey.
Bro, them people are negative, you know. Negativity sells, you know.
It's not about
I remember
negativity.
them have as quote unquote Craig Butler channel and say, put them on, click it in, my father.
Yeah. I put Liam Bailey in the thumbnail.
You don't sell your integrity for nobody.
No.
Because you don't believe Liam Bailey cost this game. But do you believe Liam Bailey?
I put a question. No, I said no already. Complicit, yes,
Right.
but he wasn't the reason why we lost the game.
So you don't sell your integrity for them.
And Nana Low, I put when Nana Low stays so. And then I put Liam Bailey in the back because it was a big part of the game.
People, if you're still watching right now, and him decide to put something completely different than what him said a while ago, make sure you beat him,
Yeah, beat me. But no, I'm just not gonna eat now. People, love for the love. Big up on yourself. We're out.